Lindsay, I want to welcome you to Real Feel Insights. Are you nervous?
Not really.
Not really?
But maybe I'll be shocked by the end of this. So,
Okay.
yeah, right now I'm fine.
Okay, all right. I don't really know you, but you come across as very, I don't know, you just kind of take things head on, and however it's dealt you, that's the way you deal with it. So
Yeah.
I don't feel like I always try to make my guests feel really comfortable. If you have everything and relaxed, and it's just two people having a conversation about, whatever the topic we want to talk about today. So
Yeah.
I'm happy that you're joining me. Unfortunately, the topic that I think that we're going to be probably talking about is, there's a lot of things. It's very packed, negative, it's addiction.
Yep.
I mean, it's very effective addiction, in a negative way. I mean, addiction can do a good job and take people completely out. So
Sure can.
yeah. So anyway, addiction is going to be kind of like, I think, where we're going to be going with. But I'd like to take maybe a little bit of time here at the beginning. Can you tell me a little bit about where you grew up, or?
I grew up in North Dakota.
Okay.
I did. Very small town. And then what brought me here was I worked at Regis for about 3 years out of hair school in Fargo. And I got offered to be a manager here in the Minnesota area. So I took it, I ran with it, and I've been here for about 16 years. So I managed the Regis for 3 years.
So it was really virtually the occupation, your occupation, that brought you to where you are now in central Minnesota. Okay.
Yes.
So were you like way out in North Dakota?
Not really.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
About almost 2 hours away from this area.
Okay.
So
It's
not terrible.
not-
Used to come here to the lakes area all the time. So as a
Okay.
kid, so very familiar with it.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So who wouldn't want to live in this area?
I know. I do a lot of traveling, Lindsay, and I don't know if you know that, across the pond and, internationally and, just within the states. And I always say this area is God's country in the summer months.
It really is. You can't go wrong.
Yeah, it's just...
That's why we live here.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't care for the negative 26, but we take it when it's,
Yeah, if you caught it, it was in the summer months.
There you go. There you go.
So like, like that May, September, even April, October, central Minnesota is a good place
Absolutely.
to live.
Just get through the winter.
Right.
Yep.
It is. It's brutal.
It is.
It's very brutal.
That's why we go on to a couple trips a year.
Yeah,
Gotta
yes,
get out of here.
yeah.
Get some vitamin D.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So then it was job that brought you to the lakes area, to central Minnesota, and hairstylist. Okay.
Yep.
And did you always know that that's what you wanted to do?
Absolutely. Since the age of 5 years old.
Okay.
I had a little salon.
Oh.
A little, what is it, one of those play school ones, or,
Sure.
and then I lost a tooth one time, and I got some money from the tooth fairy. Well, the next thing you know, I'm sitting at my salon, I'm actually ripping my teeth out. My dad heard me, heard a crunch, and he's like, have you been ripping your teeth out? I said, yeah, I'm trying to make some money. So I had drive from a very young age.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I knew.
All right.
Yep.
You knew. Okay. So siblings,
I have one. I have a brother.
older, younger?
Older.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. You got a good, close relationship with
Not
him?
so much.
Not so much?
Nope.
Okay.
It's been very toxic for many years. We've been good, we've been bad, and right now we're just not great. And sometimes you just have to have boundaries in your life and cut out some toxic traits, and right now that's just what I have to cut out right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Parents?
Yep, I have a mom and I have a dad. My dad is remarried, and I love, 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 love his wife. So she is like a bonus mom all day for me. And then my mom, yep, there has been some struggles through our years, and that's putting it very lightly.
Very
So,
lightly. So
We can dive deep in that.
Okay.
You sure can.
Okay.
And the fact of the matter is, it's that I'm human, and so is everybody else. But it's hard to talk about things, especially if it hurts people's feelings or it, when you say it out loud, it becomes real. And with therapy of the years I've had, energy healing, when you say it out loud or you write it down on paper, it's like, wow, I really did go through some stuff. So, but I think, we just live every day. Every day, it's fast paced, everything is, but sometimes you just got to take some time and just like give yourself a pat on the back and be like, you're here, you're doing good, you've been through a lot, and you never let it define you.
Okay, I'm gonna just kind of go back, to the childhood, because I think sometimes, actually oftentimes, that childhood in development and the people that are around us, family, people that we want or we don't want, looking back on it, that was our, creating years. That's our developing years.
Yep.
Your mother, really, that word you used, was a powerful word. So very, not it was negative. I mean, you're not.
We're in a good place now, but what I will say, there has been many, many years of hurt, anger. It's been emotional, roller coaster. It's, you wonder why. And then you also look at other people that have had it worse in life and you're like, okay. I always knew growing up, she had a love for me. I just don't think she was ever really, truly loved. And I think if you were never really loved or knew it, how do you do it to somebody else? But then when I had my first child, I remember looking at him and I was like, wow, this is what love is. I couldn't imagine. There are days that get long, frustrating, but it wasn't. I think if I could just forgive and just hope for the best, but also in those negative times, no, I have a voice and I can't put up with it. I can't take one more second of it because it was unraveling, like the anxiety, the bad spot in my head, the things, and if she watches this, she might be hurt, but it's the truth. I probably wasn't the easiest child, but also the hand that I was dealt with wasn't easy as well. I had parents that worked their butts off for us. They both came from nothing. And I think when you're not on the same page with your partner, it's very hard. And maybe she did things a lot alone. And because of being angry with that, it got portrayed on us kids. And I think you either live with it and you are angry your whole life or you seek help. Like I had to seek a therapist right before my wedding. As I grew up, the things that I endured and dealt with, my friends did not. And I always knew it was super dysfunctional, but I also knew like, hey, this is just my life,
So you knew that it was dysfunctional.
Absolutely.
When did you know? Like 5 years old?
Yeah.
Oh, very, very young.
I remember going out to our woods. We had a little shed out there and it was my little fort. And I remember praying to God and just asking what was wrong with me. Like, why was I so different? Why did I feel the way I felt? And you never understood that as a kid. And I did try to commit suicide 2 times when I was in high school. And I'm sure we'll get through that because I just felt like I was better off dead than alive. It was almost like I was a burden and I couldn't get any more lower than I was. And then after I conquered that and got through that, I chose I would never do that again. And I just had to face emotions that I never wanted to face. You know it in the back of your head. You know things aren't normal. And then you go see someone for help, and then they really are like, no, this is not normal what you went through. And it's like, okay. And that's my strong-willed in me as well, so.
Lindsay, you, I don't know if you know this or not, but when you speak, there's a lot that you're saying. I mean, a lot.
Of course.
I mean, we've covered in 3 minutes there, you told me that you had attempted suicide twice. My mind, I mean, I'm just running with that. I'm thinking like, well, what did this poor girl what drew her to that,
Right.
what drove her to that. Then we talked about your mom and the forgiveness that you have, like she wasn't even capable of loving.
Yeah.
Honestly, I know that you have had to go through a lot of counseling even to get to that.
Yeah.
So I'm just letting you know that
Yeah.
I have a limited amount of time
I know.
here, and I want to get into
Nope, you're
addiction.
good.
But you are an unbelievable. I mean, I don't know you, and already I know that you are just packed full of
Yeah.
an incredible amount.
Yeah.
And sometimes with people and characteristics like yours, you're loud.
Yeah.
You might be too much for somebody.
A lot. Yeah.
But you know what? It's because of what you've been through
Yep.
that you've experienced
Yep.
so much already.
Yep.
I can tell.
Yeah,
I can
get your
see some
seatbelt ready.
Yeah,
I know. It's
can
already the ugly
yeah.
Kim Kardashian
No.
crying's coming out.
No, and we want that because that's real.
Yep.
And I assure you,
Yep.
Lindsay, my viewers.
Yep. We need it.
Yeah, we do need honesty, and we need that truth, and being too much sometimes people don't understand that.
Yeah.
And Lindsay, this might be it where people do truly. They're like, oh
They
my
understood.
God,
A lot of
that's-
people see me as this loud hairstylist that just says it how it is, but if you dig deep and you really get to know me, it's understandably so.
Yes.
But, judgment goes everywhere. People judge,
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah,
without knowing.
and then also just to give you a little bit of heads up, sometimes people, if they're judging you or saying it, maybe you're a little bit hypersensitive to thinking that they're judging you, and they're just processing you and just a little slower.
Yeah.
And they're not. They're very intrigued by you.
Right.
And they want to connect with that and they want to hear that. But it's,
a lot.
you did just honestly in 3 minutes you just unpacked a pile of stuff. I would spend an hour on each one of those topics that you brought up, but I want to really hone in on addiction.
Yep. Let's do
Okay,
it.
so grew up in central Minnesota, have one sibling. Your dynamic at home with parents, I'm assuming we could go as far as saying it was very dysfunctional.
It was. It was.
Okay.
They did the best they could,
Yeah,
but there's not a book. And
right.
if there's not true love there, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So
you never felt loved.
I felt love, but it was like I wasn't good enough. Because one day I was being told how rotten and awful I was, and maybe, I wish I never had you, to maybe the next second, like, I love you so much. And then, like, my dad, he's always been such a good dad, but he's not emotional. And he grew up very hard. He was adopted, all that. So ran the whole show for his whole family, provided for them for years. So I think when you've had to be an adult at such a young age, you grow up, and that's like that old school mentality, and that's kind of what I have, like, just don't cry about. Like, if there's not a reason to cry, don't cry. Like, just keep moving. Like, you go make some money, go work. Like, we've all had to work. Like, that's my whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
you'll never see me get a handout.
Okay.
I will
Okay.
work until the day I die. Like,
Do you think that's a good process? Just keep working and
no.
No? Okay.
I think there has to be times that you make, and that's where I try to take a couple trips a year with my family and try to, I feel I work a lot harder than most people. I have a drive that's different, but it was fight or flight for me for many, many years. So
that is who you are.
it is. I don't have to fall back on anybody. The only person I can fall back on is myself. So I've carried my family, like my immediate family, like, for years. And then my husband opened up a business a couple years ago, and it's kind of hard for me to let the reins down a bit. Like, I still haven't slowed down working, and I need to. I feel it. Like, I had like a breakdown on Wednesday. Like, it's just, I'm like 20 years in the game.
So when you say that you had a breakdown, what does
Emotional, like, just
that mean? Things were too much?
it is. Yeah,
It was just too much?
Like, it's
Okay.
I go. I go so much, and then I get burnt out, and then I squeeze clients, and I try to accommodate, and that's my own fault because it's my actions doing it. So the only person I can be mad at is myself, and I change those ways. And change is hard,
Very.
but it also gives you growth, So it was a lesson learned, and it was a good lesson because I'm like, just slow it down. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. I see so much you know, cancer, fatalities, all that in my chair. And I just take that on. And then I think I'm like, well, what if this happens to me? What if this happens? But I'm a true believer in God. I just, all those things that, you know, if anything, I'm like the biggest hypochondriac you'd never meet in your life. And then, oh God.
Really?
Oh,
Okay.
getting colonoscopies at 35 and everything. And
Okay.
good thing I did. So,
Okay.
yeah, I'm very hypersensitive to the what ifs. And I'm such a control freak that you can't control everything.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't blame yourself either for being a control freak. You had to control your life from little on. You going out into the woods in that fort.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and asking
Yeah.
God.
Oh, I talk to him all the time.
Yeah.
And-
Why?
But what I've learned now, because now I'm like pushing 40, you know, you're just you're one of the chosen ones. Things could be way worse, and there's a reason I'm here. I run a salon, I have clients, I want to help others, because I've heard from a lot of people, those little impacts that I do can really change their whole dynamic on whether it's a job, whether it's leaving their husband, you know, if they're being mistreated, you know, knowing your worth, because everybody is worth something, but it's if you choose to be good or you choose to be not so good. There's consequences with everything.
You said that you feel like you're the chosen one
To help others.
to help others.
Yeah.
So helping, that makes you feel good. You like that feeling
Yeah.
of helping somebody.
Yes.
Do you do it because you can make a difference, or do you do it because you like that feeling of helping, and then you wish maybe that would have been given to you somewhere along the line?
So, all of that. I do it because that's always been my way. Now, my mom, you know, growing up, like, we would find families that were without, and we would go buy them things, dozens of gifts, all that, and we would have the sheriff drop it off at their house on Christmas and say Santa did. Like, things like my parents are very giving. They've worked so hard, and they've always given back. Now, you give to others because that's the right thing to do. You don't do it to expect something in return, and sometimes that got lost in the concept. And I don't like that. I do a lot of giving back to our community. If there's a family without, I donate, I do things, and I don't talk about it because you don't. You just do it out of the kindness of your heart. And I think if there's more good in this world, good things come out, and there needs to be more good in this world because this world is scary right now. And I would hope, and I was down and out, but I did it all on my own, but I would hope if I ever got a diagnosis of cancer or something, like my community would rally, and that's just, you know, things you do.
Do unto others as you would want them to do unto you.
There you go.
Is that sum up maybe what you're saying a
Yes.
little bit? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And I do have a funny little motto here. A lot of people say be the bigger person. Well, if I don't care for somebody, I'm just going to match that energy.
Okay,
So
okay.
I always say God takes the good ones first, and my kids, I'm like, Mom will be around for a little bit. I still have time. I have some time.
You are, you're a real treat. I really enjoy, no, I like people that just say it just the way it is. I would rather, you know, I too have businesses and have interactions with many people.
Yeah.
And I think some of probably the ones that have done me the most damage in life are the people that I thought I could trust.
Yep.
And it turned out that they weren't.
I know.
And so when I get straightforward, straight shooters, I appreciate that. And the older a person gets, and especially with me, I mean, I'm noticing it with me, I don't have any time. I don't have time. Literally, I just don't have time because my schedule is so full. If there's something there and I don't trust it,
I always say
I'm
when somebody
out.
shows you who they are, believe it.
Yes, yeah. And you don't have to be hateful back. You just learn your lesson. You know what you need to know,
Yeah.
and then you move
Yeah,
forward.
yeah. It's just, you know, I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Somebody might not be mine, and I just distance myself, you know?
Okay, so we're going to get into the topic of addiction. And when did your addiction start? Can you tell me a little bit about what the addiction is? and where
So
it
I've
started?
had probably a few. Mainly it was meth.
Okay.
Okay. Drank at a young age, you know, from a small town in North Dakota. That's what you do. You road trip, whatever.
when you say young age, how young were you?
Oh man, I don't know, like 13 or 14.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
you know?
was that what everybody was doing
Yeah.
at 13, 14, where you grew up from? So then it's like,
I was probably one of the biggest party girls that came out of my town, though.
okay.
I could roll with the boys pretty good.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
So
All right.
it goes from drinking, and then all of a sudden, you know, you start partying, and then there's some cocaine at parties. Then you start doing that, okay? And then cocaine, I don't know if you know this, is a rich man's drug, and sooner or later it runs out, and the next thing you know, you're drunk and you're doing things that you know are not good for you at all.
So when you say cocaine, are we doing cocaine at like 14 or
No.
17, 20?
Maybe like 18.
Okay.
18 here and there.
Okay.
Like, I was never like a druggie. I didn't even like really smoke pot, like maybe here or there in high school. I mainly just like road tripped. I was a really good athlete, but because of drinking and getting suspended,
You lost opportunities then because of drinking.
Yeah. And then I could have played, you know, college volleyball and college basketball, but I knew I wanted to do hair. Like, I wasn't going to go to NDSU. I wasn't going to, you know.
Yep, that's what you wanted.
I knew I wanted to do that. So I remember a principal told me I was never going to make it. I was going to end up in prison at the way I was, just because, like, you know, like there were kind of like scouts looking at me, and I was a good athlete. And, you know, we were just a single family there. I didn't have a big last name. And maybe if I had a last name, it would have, you know, helped.
Do you think that was it a coach or
It was a
who
principal.
Principal?
Yeah.
Do you think, was he telling you you're going to amount to nothing?
Yeah.
Or was he telling you that shape up or you're not going to?
No, he was a
Straight
real
up?
treat. He was a real treat. Karma got him though.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Okay.
you know, like, and you know, it's like, well, your son
Okay.
was probably puking in the bathroom next to me that night, and like, but yet, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, alcohol. Then I went to hair school, and I got the number one out of my class. I just took it so serious. I did it. I ran with it. And partying, like, was a part of my life, but I always went to work. I always, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And then, yeah, when I got to this area, I started managing the Regis, and within 1 year, I got number one in the nation for our small category. Like, I built that salon so great, and I had the best coworkers to work with. These girls were outstanding, and there was a guy that worked with us at one time too, and he was great as well. And yeah, then my partying, I was hanging out with this guy. The next thing you know, it's like, in every weekend, I'm like, I can't believe I just did that. That's meth. That is so bad. I felt terrible.
So 18 is when we started getting into cocaine.
Here and there, yeah, here and there.
Starting to dabble in it
23
a little
is when it really hit.
bit. Okay, so college, you're through college at 23 then, hair
Oh,
school
I was
already.
done with hair school at 19.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or-
So
yeah.
were you making money that you could play with that a
Not-
little bit? What was it? You
Oof.
moved away from your home in central North Dakota.
Yeah.
But you.
I was hanging out with some
it?
guys, you know, and they were really fun to hang out with. But the next, they partied hard, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. Like, I'm a manager at a salon. Like, I can't have this image. Like, when I moved to this area, my biggest thing was, I'm not hooking up with one person. They're never going to be able to say, you know, I got the manager of, like, no, I've never dated one person in this area. I took it serious, but then I'm like, what am I doing over here? And I have a very bad deal of body dysmorphia, because somebody in my family told me I was fat my entire life. So then all of a sudden I'm doing this meth, and my body's changing. And then I'm going to like Herbalife every day, and I'm doing this challenge. Well, I got number one out of the challenge. They're like, excuse me, they're like, I can't believe how much weight you've lost. I said, yeah, it's these shakes. No.
Okay.
And then when you're using meth, you don't drink. You can't really drink.
Okay.
So then I was telling everyone, well, I'm not drinking.
So you were picking one. Okay. So
And
you
then
thought,
it was
okay.
like, and then my now husband, we were best friends. We met doing it. And
Okay.
he doesn't come from that family. He was like an outstanding baseball player that almost played for the Twins. He was coaching, I think, at Moorhead State, and he got let go because, I mean, that's what happens. Like, I fooled people for about a year
Okay.
on this. My face looked good. Everything looked good. And everybody's like, how are these your teeth? And I was like, I don't know. I must have good genes, but I brush my teeth like every day. And we didn't go a day without using for 3 years straight. And then after a year, you could start seeing it, the overwhelmness, you know. You could see it in my face. Like my face was so pouched out. Like I've had so much work done on my face, like whether it's like lasering and like skin pens and vampire facials. So I've taken layers and layers of my skin off to try to.
What did it do?
It pouched. Like I have
what does that mean?
like a crater face in a sense. Like I have like kind of like a little hole right over here that just can't be repaired. But oh, it was terrible. It was almost like living in hell every day. And I couldn't get out because I tried to commit suicide in high school, and I vowed to myself I'd never do that again after the psychologist looked at me and said, what if your dad found you dead on the couch? And I was like, that was very selfish of me. I didn't think of that. I thought I was better off dead than alive, you know?
Well, you were looking at it from only from your point
of
view.
Oh, yeah. Like when people say I don't understand it, like, and mind you, I never had children when I was using at all. So I've had a lot of people through the years ask, you know, how, and, you know, I prayed to God every day, and addiction is like, people call this a disease, and I'm going to beg to differ. Addiction is addiction. Breast cancer is a disease. When you're given cancer, that, like, you are physically picking that meth pipe up. You are physically picking that drink up. That is addiction. And you have the choice. And I didn't have any money. I was negative thousands and thousands of dollars. I didn't have a dime. And
can I ask, let's just back up just a little bit here. When you said that you were at 23, was it just the friends that got you into it?
Probably.
And then what was it that pulled, I mean, you knew that doing meth was like.
Oh, the come down was awful. So then
I'm sorry.
The come down?
The come down?
So then you got to get high again.
Okay, so you knew what you were doing was not good choices.
No.
Okay, right there. You knew it, why did you keep doing it?
Addiction.
If it's multiple reasons, friends.
I don't know. Sometimes, like, you know, there's been times in my life where I quit drinking for months at a time just to get a really straight head. And I think it's that I've been in control of my life for so many years that sometimes being out of control was okay. But this was out of control. Like the situations my husband and I put ourselves in was really bad. Like I'm lucky to be here today. I'm lucky I never was like sexually abused. I mean, when you're in that game of things, okay?
Wow.
You go to lengths to get it.
Okay.
It's a small community out there. You have beef with everybody when you're on it.
Okay.
But you'll go to your own enemy to get it. Okay. Because you need to fix that. Like that come down is like you want to die.
Tell me about that come down. When you say you want to die, what is it? Like you can't breathe,
your heart is racing, you're sweating, you are sick. It's honestly like if you've ever had a hangover, it's times 20. And I never used needles. I never did. I either smoked it, and most of the time I snorted it. I did because I was scared for teeth, and so probably have a hole in my nose, probably, but indescribable. And then my mom almost died, like right when I got clean for like 1 week.
Okay.
Then my mom got like sepsis, and then she was like on a ventilator. I was literally going to the hospital every single night because I didn't want anybody to see me. And I was so ashamed of how I looked, and then family members making everything worse. And then at one point, I'm like saying goodbye to my mom, and that was awful. There's so much trauma that we needed to heal.
Okay.
And like, this is it. Like, I am so cracked out. I'm at the lowest place I've ever been in my life.
Oh my God,
And I'm
Lindsay.
upstairs, like saying bye,
Wow.
And then I was borrowing her car at the time,
God.
and she like ordered on, what is it? I don't know, like the HG or like whatever. It's like a subscription, QVC.
Okay.
Sure. And so when she came out, her mind was not right. I mean, she was in there for, I think like almost 3, I know 2 months for sure, and like 1 month, it was so bad. And so when she came out, she didn't have a memory. So I had like no checking account at the time because I was so negative, we had to close it down. So I either did money orders to pay my rent. My rent was only like $350 or $400. And so she gave me a few checks to use, okay? Like literally, and then I would go do hair on the side and I'd pay her back, you know? Because I quit my job. Like I was gonna go booth rent and I got so wrapped up into the drugs. And so my whole family, they thought I was stealing check blanks. They like, my brother all of a sudden was Mr. Hero and he hasn't had a relationship with my mom in many years. Came down to get the car from me. And the bank had to kind of say to my mom, like, hey, you've been ordering QVC for like 8 years straight. Like she didn't take your debit card,
Right,
you know?
right.
Because I was a lot of things, but I'm not a thief. That's like my one thing. Like one of my best friends that I grew up with and that relationship ended, her grandpa is like a grandpa to me. And all he does is he's paid for those kids their whole life. And he called me and he's like, Lindsay, I know you are so bad right now. And I was bawling on the phone and he's like, let me help you. And I said, I can't.
Why?
I said, I got myself into this. I have to get myself out. I was so ashamed of who I was. And I just didn't grow up that way. We just didn't grow up like getting a handout. Like if I borrowed money from a girlfriend, like let's say $100, I would go work to pay her and I would go days without eating. Like let's just say a scenario there. Like it was so shameful of me to have to, because I was actually a huge party girl, but I was one of the most responsible kids in my whole grade. Like I bought my very first house at 21 years old. I was known as, you know, my bills were always paid like 2 months ahead. So then for me to like get on drugs and then not pay things, and then I co-signed for my husband's truck and he got that in foreclosure. I've never been like, it was horrible. And one day I just couldn't do it anymore. We were homeless. Like we all put our eviction notice, or not eviction, but a notice in for our renters because they had jacked stuff up and they were just terrible landlords. So a bunch of us did. Well, I was so high, I didn't even find us a place. So we couch hopped for like 2 weeks. Then I went and lived with my mom for a month and I like tried to get myself together. And then she co-signed an apartment for us, which was great, but he was using. Then I'd fall back and then I'd use. And one day I just looked at him and I said, I got to get back to this area. I've lost everything. I don't care about anything in this apartment. I got to get back.
What happened? What was it that did that to you? Triggered?
I think God finally answered my prayers.
Okay.
Like I could not go another day. Like there was the lowest I could have ever felt is in those dark times. And like I remember before my husband relapsed, he had always said, don't you remember how fun it was? I said, I don't remember it being fun at all. I said, I lived in pure hell.
Because why?
Well, I was living two different lives. I was Lindsay, and then here I was a crackhead.
Okay.
And here I am like hairstylist, trying to help others, and I'm like doing one of the worst. I'm like getting high in the bathroom at Regis. Like seriously. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like who does that?
Yeah.
But that's what you do. When
That responsibility, that right there, knowing that you didn't pay people back. Sometimes people don't have a problem with that.
Oh, no.
They intentionally
There's
set
takers.
out. Yes, that take it intentionally.
Yeah.
So that responsibility that you had, what do you contribute that to?
How I grew up, my parents were very honorable people. Like when it came to like responsibility, like they worked so hard. They never got a handout. They if there's one thing they did well, they really taught us kids how to work.
Well, Lindsay, that message, it's been through this entire conversation, that responsibility, that being trustworthy, you know, being honest.
Yeah.
You said, I mean, you've told us the depths of where you homeless, and but yet your trustworthiness, or like you said, well, I'm many things, but I'm not a thief. And, you know, I mean, so that right there, that characteristic, if that was in you already, or just something that, you know, you didn't even talk about, but you witnessed your parents working for everything that they had, that it was a big contributing factor for you pulling yourself out of that hole, is what I think I'm hearing you say.
I just knew how disappointed. I mean, I never got busted. I mean, came so close. But I remember I think my dad was in denial, and my stepmom, hey, she has been around the block. She's no dummy. She is one of the smartest women I know. She had said to him, she's on something. I know it. Well, duh. I mean, I'm 5'8", and I weigh 152 right now. Well, I was like 117 at my smallest,
Wow.
you know?
Right.
That doesn't just happen.
Right.
And so he was like, you know, I think he felt really bad. Like, and I think people do get in denial because who wants to see their child
Right.
doing one of the worst drugs
Right.
out there? My mom, on the other hand, when I got sober, I called her up and I was like, hey, I just want you to know I'm really sorry. I've been super weird the last few years. I have been on meth. And she's like, I am so disappointed and beyond embarrassed. And I was like, disappointed, I can see. I get it. Embarrassed, I never got picked up. I never like sold to children. I
know,
never.
but what are you saying that to now when you were cleaning up? Why
Because-
didn't you do that?
I think it's always because it's always been about somebody else. It's, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And it was like, geez, I'm trying to be vulnerable. It took me
Right.
like 1 month for my head to even compromise like a sentence. Like that's how crazy that drug.
Wow.
And then about a year to just kind of get into the groove of things.
Right.
And then months had went by because we lived in somewhere else in Minnesota for a little while. And I think we were there for about 6 months at this apartment because my mom had to co-sign. And I just remember looking at my husband and I said, I'm done. I'm like, I can't do this another day. Like, I've been wanting to die and I refuse. Like, you'd think with all the drugs that I did, I would have OD'd. And somehow I was here. I couldn't go another day. And so I told him I was done. And I said, you can either come back here with me. I said, but I'm coming back. I need hair back in my life. I need my life back. I don't care about any of this materialistic. I've already lost everything. I used to be so secure of who I was. And like when I tried to commit suicide, that's where I got this attitude where I don't care. Like no one's gonna ever make me feel this way again.
Okay.
Because I'm like, I'm a loser. I'm a big loser. Like I'm 27 years old and I have not a dime to my name. And so I told him I was done. And I said, you can either come back here with me. I said, but I'm coming back. I need hair back in my life. I need my life back. I don't care about any of this materialistic. I've already lost everything. I can't, like, I need this. And he went down to the garage and he broke every meth pipe that there was.
So he was on board with you at that time.
Yep.
You were both
Yep.
going to get clean.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And I could not afford treatment. I was not about to use the system to
So
get.
you didn't do treatment?
Nope, because
Wow.
treatment would have been $16,000 and I didn't have that. And I'm sure, you know, because I didn't have anything, I could have gotten it for free. But I knew walking out of that facility, you were going to have to make life choices that were real. So I was going to have to face the music of all the people that I used to hang with. And I had to make a choice to be done. Because you are what you hang out with. If you hang out with somebody that drinks every day, you're probably going to become that. You know what I mean?
Okay. You are what you hang with.
Yeah. You
Or,
are.
another one, birds of a feather flock together. Somebody told me that
I have
years
the
ago.
best girl gang in the world with the most supportive women, and I keep that in my corner because I will only rise with these girls because they are such good influences and positive in my life. And if you're around people that aren't positive, if there's a negative trait, that is what you're going to become.
Okay.
And slowly every day it's going to chip away at you until you fail.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I do. So then when you decided to become clean, you knew that you needed to change
Yep.
your atmosphere,
Yep.
change your company.
Yep. Change my number,
Okay.
everything.
Okay.
Change it all.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Change my number.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
So you know that fight and that stubborn part of you that really, you know, I'm not only stubborn, but I'm also independent and I'm going to work for everything I have. That characteristic right there really benefited you.
It did.
At that time. Would that be an accurate
Absolutely.
assessment?
And I
Okay.
think probably with my compulsive disorder and like I'm a creature of habit, I don't like change, even though change is a good thing most of the time. I just don't really shift off. And I think shifting off sometimes is okay as long as it's positive. But yeah.
Was your husband at the time when you decided, was he your husband at the time?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
But you were boyfriend and girlfriend?
Yep,
You were dating?
boyfriend and girlfriend.
Okay. So he was on board. You're the one that ultimately made that first
Yep.
decision and
Yep.
you were hardcore. It
Yep.
was, you were done because
Yep.
you had hit every low point,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that you that we've covered here
Yep.
already, and he was on board with you. Did you move back then to
Yep,
where?
I had a place to stay with the lady that I booth rented from. She's like a second mom to me. And we rented a room upstairs, and she charged us like $600. And I think I worked for her for like 50% the first 2 weeks, and then I went on my own because I started with $100 on my own. Like most people that open up their own business, and I was an independent stylist, you know, you need like thousands to thousands of dollars, and I started with $100 and just back bar stuff that I had accumulated over the year.
Sure.
Yeah, I threw myself in. Like, not really anybody I know can throw themselves in, and I just gradually, I just remember just making a little bit more, and I was like thousands of dollars deep in like credit card debt, and my mom at one point had told me that she paid for everything. Well, then like a year goes by and I have like $4,000 saved up, and I go into the bank because I had to get a prepaid debit card because my credit was so bad. They couldn't open me up a bank account, so I had to start off. So then, no, I had like $7,000 saved up. Yeah, because all of a sudden she ran my credit report and I had like $4,700 in like credit cards that my mom said she paid for. And it wasn't. And so right there I said, pay for it all. Let's get it all. Like, that sucks, but also like,
You had it.
and I don't like anybody telling me that they've done something for me because that's what I've gotten told my whole life. Like, I did this for you.
Okay.
Yeah, like
That's
I
what
did
it's-
this. Like, I bought this for you, so you do this. And I just don't like that. I don't like to my kids, for instance, I'm like, you know what, we're going to the thrift store to buy clothes because you guys ruined all your stuff, you know, but I'm not like, I bought you that outfit. What do you know what I mean? And it was always a dangle.
Or you were indebted. You
Yeah.
don't like that feeling
No.
of being indebted.
Nope.
Because then that's held over you.
Yeah.
And you want to do everything independently by yourself so that nobody can do that.
Absolutely.
That is so amazing that childhood, not a lot of people have that in their childhood, but you did.
Yeah.
And look at how that came into your own life and,
Yeah.
and even now.
Yeah.
And then you have children now and you say, I will not do that because that was done to you, that holding that,
Yeah.
wow,
Well, you either continue the family dynamic or you break the curses. You know, people could say, this happened to me when I was young, so I do that. That's not okay. No, you change it. I mean, I'm not perfect by any means, but I definitely try to change my ways. So,
yeah, well, that takes a lot of strength because there's a lot of, times when, it takes support. It just takes, you have a serious fight in you. I mean, I picked up on that rather quickly.
Yeah.
So when some people, it takes some time, to stop that dysfunction and,
Yeah.
start new. Sometimes people don't even see it.
Yeah.
And then something happens and then they see it. It just happens differently for
Yeah.
people, over time. But
Yep.
for you, it was, you definitely have a fight. In fact, actually, to a little bit to a fault for you that you are very sensitive.
yeah.
Do you know that?
I am,
Okay.
but I think when you've had to grow up with a tough exterior, I do. I like deep down when you get to that heart of mine, you'll see it. But I don't let a lot of people in right away because I don't trust a lot of people. I'm not and I'm not shut off. I'm very open to new relationships. I'm just never shocked if it screws me in the long haul because I've been screwed my whole life. So don't let others disappoint you. You know, I've had a lot of broken relationships. I've had, to a point where it was awful. It overtook who I was. And I'm like, well, they just won. The devil just won right there. You just let somebody's negative trait affect you to the point where you could have ruined positive relationships with other people because you fixated on something so negative. But maybe that's because of how I grew up my whole life. I don't know. There was a lot of negative in there,
Do you just have this shield sometimes that you want in place to protect yourself?
Probably.
Okay, but do you ever want to show a side of you and your vulnerability so people really know that you don't have all the answers, that you're not strong
Right.
all the time?
Right. Yeah, I would like, people. I don't, and it's not that I initially try to.
Right.
It's like, you know, when you get up and you shower and you get dressed every day, it's just a part of your life. It's kind of like how this has been with my life, you know? And I think because when I was young, I was dismissed so much as a kid, and my feelings never mattered. They weren't valid. So like when your feelings aren't valid or mattered, you just learn how to just keep going, you know? And that's not right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You get emotional.
I know.
Your eyes, you are teary-eyed when you talk about that. Yeah. It's tough for you to do that. You've had to fight your whole life for everything that you have.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're a beautiful soul. I don't know if you know that, Lindsay.
Well, I'm told that, but I don't know about that. No,
Yeah.
I mean, when you talk about it, it becomes real, you know? So I just feel very blessed of the family that I have now and the people in my life. Like, I worked so hard to be where I'm at, but sometimes I just feel like you just need to stop sometimes and be like, you're good. Everything is good. Just be appreciative. But I think I'm always so worried about the next thing. So my mind just doesn't shut off. Yeah. And then, like, you just compare so much to other things that are probably non-comparable. But it's like, for instance, like if I was to sit and fixate on what a shitty childhood I had, and that isn't to say that my whole childhood was, but when you look back, you know, I have to say the words like, and it might hurt, you know, my family. This might hurt them. But this is my feelings. This is my truth.
Absolutely.
And like, if I can't speak my truth, what the hell can I do?
Right.
You know, like hide the whole time, like protect everybody. That doesn't do any justice. And I have to free myself. You know, you have to free yourself.
Oh my God, Lindsay.
Oh,
You
gosh.
are just such a, there's more people in this world that struggle with what you just explained, that you are this little Lindsay yet, this little girl that was hurt and damaged.
Yeah.
And, you know, many years ago and had the childhood that you've had. And then how honest you were to open up and talk to us about, you know, how drinking started in North Dakota, you know, in high school, how you had your principal talk to you like that and degrade you.
Yeah.
When you knew hypocritically his own son was over there, but never said anything, you know, was puking in the bathroom. Then you get to, you know, age 23 here, and we're, you know, through 23 to 25, 26, 27.
Yeah.
We're at the depths of life.
Yeah.
You go back, you tell your mom you're getting clean, and she tells you, I'm so disappointed. I mean, the stuff that you have just, how we've peeled this back and how we've unfolded this, you are, you're what I would call a success story in so many different ways. Your life itself.
Yeah.
You really literally have said that you should have been dead.
Yeah.
Because of, you know, the amount of
Oh, yeah.
drugs that you were using.
Yeah. And like, even when I took all those pills and stuff and,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a reason I'm supposed to be here. So I'm trying to do it all in a positive. You know, I'm not always positive all the time. I don't have all the answers, but I feel like I've been there, I've done it. So if there's somebody else that's struggling, I can help them to see that light, you know, because to have to maneuver and figure it out the way I did, I mean, that wasn't healthy. But also, I feel like I had to go through what I went through to be where I'm at.
To be who you are today.
Yeah, you have to hit rock bottom in life to appreciate. Like, I don't care what it is.
Wow.
Because if you've never hit rock bottom, it's like losing. Like I tell my kids, you have to lose in order to win. Because if you win all the time, you're never going to feel that high.
Yeah.
So you have to be low at times and be super vulnerable and like, in order to just appreciate so much.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like if you got handed a silver spoon, your parents pay for everything your whole life.
Yeah.
You're just a spoiled brat. That's all you are.
Right.
And you're not gracious. And if they don't have their will all drawn up, you're probably going to blow through that money in a year because you don't, you know, you don't have that. Like I have all that. Like I'm like,
You've been
yes,
through some
like
stuff
you,
to
when you have to
appreciate.
pay for everything as a kid, you know, and I mean, my parents like bought me clothes and did all that. And, like, you know, but we just had to work, you know?
And I think the word that really is standing out is that you appreciate everything that you have.
Yeah.
Because you had to work for it.
Yes.
So hard.
Yep.
And that level of appreciation has something, I mean, there's something to say about that gratitude.
Yeah.
That feeling of having just gratitude in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. You permeate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really do. Just thankfulness, appreciation.
I see so much awful, negative stuff in my chair that people are going through, and you can't imagine. So I get lessons learned every day on how lucky I am. Because you see such good people go through the worst, and you don't understand why. But right there, life gets put into perspective, and it's like, we got a good life. It's good. You know, I might not have a brand new house on the lake. I might, you know, but where I was 11 years ago to where I am now, I'm like superwoman when you look back. Like, it's like, it's, and, you know, and you're told, yeah, you can't do it. You're not going to do it. It's like, say I won't, I will. I will. I'm up for the challenge, you know.
How old are you right now?
38.
38?
Yeah.
So take your time with answering this, but I'd like the 38-year-old Lindsay right now to tell something to that 5-year-old Lindsay.
Oh, of course, Sarah, you're just going to get me going here. That you were enough, that you were loved. You weren't all these things you were told. And some kids, like I said, there's many people that had it worse than me, but I think how I felt about myself, I would die if my kids felt that way. I would. I would think I failed. But, you know, how our parents grew up is not normal, you know, like what today's society is. You know, you didn't have feelings, there wasn't mental health, there wasn't any of that,
Right.
you know.
Right.
And I don't know if you've gathered this, but I have attention deficit disorder and ADHD. I got diagnosed with both at 7. So I was a lot to handle, you know, like the ups and downs, and I barely graduated high school because I'm a hands-on person. You know, I mean, I could weld, for God's sakes, because I could weld a bead. I was physically doing something. Now, cooking class, I failed because I can't cook to save my life. But no, I had many teachers that said I wasn't going to make it. I was called a lot of names growing up, and when you're called something at such a young age, I read this book one time, and it said, when you remember your first thought, you're like 3 years old, so you become what you're told. And that's not your identity.
Oh, my God.
And it hit me like bricks.
Yeah.
Because I was like, God, I've dealt with this my whole life. And like reading it and seeing that, I'm like, I have the choice to like erase that and not be the defiance of that. But that really stuck in because, like, yeah, I mean, if you're told you're fat, you're going to think you're fat. If you're told you're stupid, you're...
At a young age.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So any parents that's listening right now,
don't do that.
Yeah.
Processed foods are such a huge thing in this world. Like, be an example to your kids. Don't sit and tell your kids. I've had several clients be like, oh my God, my daughter's getting so chubby. And I was like, don't tell her that. Because I said, I've done so much there, like, worked on myself for years. But the one thing I just know that will never leave me is my body dysmorphia. I can
say that one more time.
Body dysmorphia.
Oh, okay.
So I can feel good in my skin, but I will tell you about 20 things wrong with me right now.
Okay.
I will never be satisfied with my looks.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. Right now, today?
Yeah. Yeah, I could.
You could pick yourself apart.
Oh, absolutely I could.
Okay. Lindsay, you come across like you're extremely confident that you know that you have it all together.
Yeah.
But here, you don't.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not in the slightest.
Okay.
There's a reason I wear makeup. There's a reason I do Botox. There's a reason I do filler. There's a reason because in the beauty industry, and sure, when people are like, you're so pretty, it's like, yeah, I'm okay, I don't see what others see, but I feel like that's okay because I don't want to be vain. You know what I mean? Like, I can feel good, like, in a bikini sometimes. Like, when I was on a trip, I'll take pictures, and it's like, because I feel good right now. I was bigger before, but there's a lot of work I could still work on.
Sure, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay. It's like a catch-22. You're never going to win. I
No,
mean, because you're
no.
always so hard on yourself.
I know. It's so exhausting being in this head. It really is. I tell that to people all the time. And they're like, God, if I could just be in your brain. I was like, you're going to run the other way. It's exhausting. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything, because I think, as we're getting older too,
Yeah.
that you realize, that none of us are getting out of here alive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just accepting us, me,
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
to accept yourself, all your craziness, all of your life history, all of the choices that you've made, that it is just who you are.
Yeah.
And like it or not,
Yeah.
it is who I am.
Yeah.
What is it that we could say to each other to truly, really believe that? What is it that I could even say to you?
I think like with me, my friends around me, I remember saying to my best friend, Natalie, who I work with at the salon, sorry, I told her when I was explaining my whole life to her one day, we were like out road tripping, stopping at all the bars, around. And I was telling her about my life, and I said, I don't know, I think I had a pretty good life. She's like, Lindsay, I got to tell you, that is not normal whatsoever at all. Like, that is not. And when I'm at my lowest, she makes sure she reins me in and tells me how amazing I am. And she's like a voice of reason that brings the calmness to my storm. And just like, and then I believe her because everything she says, it's true, And it's like when you're not told that all the time. My husband is so good to me. Like, he tells me how much he loves me and all this. But I feel like, when it's your husband, you're like, yeah, whatever, But when others kind of come in, it's like, or they just like, stop. Take a compliment, say thank you. I don't want to hear anything negative after that compliment.
Right. So I think the other thing too was somebody like your character, and I don't know if you know this or not, Lindsay, but I have that same character.
Okay.
And it took me years to accept. And this is why I said this earlier.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to accept. And I had to, somebody told me that I was supposed to graciously accept whatever that gift was. Because I said, you don't need to do that. And they said, can you just graciously accept it? It's like, the way she worded it, like graciously accept, it's like, what?
Yeah.
It caught my attention because of the word she used.
Yeah.
But that has now always stuck with me because I couldn't take anything. I didn't want to, I can give.
Yeah.
But I couldn't take anything.
Yeah.
And when she worded it that way, that, Sarah, can you graciously accept this? I was like, yeah, okay, I'll graciously accept it. But it needed to be worded that way to me. And this was probably maybe 10, 12 years ago. Because I don't know if you know Lindsay, but I too had some massive dysfunction growing up. And I never thought that I was worth it. I never thought that I was valuable, that I was something, that I was somebody. And it took me a long time to really believe that and to understand that. That's why I think I can relate to you.
Yeah.
I liked it, Lindsay, when you do have that strong powerhouse of a character, but it's when you become vulnerable. It's when you become, your eyes tear up. It's not that it's
happening again.
It's not that I'm looking for that and I don't want to do that
No.
to you, but that's the part that I like.
Yeah.
That's the part, that soft side,
Yeah.
that I really have learned a lot from you when you show me that side of you.
Yeah.
And it's who you are. It's where you operate from.
Yeah.
And you're a very, so if I could tell you something, if I could tell anybody, the little girl in myself, in me too, I think you've said it, that you are worthy, that you are something. But so I'm going to say this to you, I'm going to say this to myself, and I'm going to say this to any other viewer that's listening to this. And I think this has been pretty much your entire message through all of this, is that it's a daily
job sometimes for somebody that has gone through what you've gone through to work hard on that.
Yeah.
And it's not a boastful, it's not an arrogant, I'm beautiful. It's that I'm enough.
Yeah.
I am enough.
Yeah.
And I am, I'm okay with all of my garbage, with all my mess, with everything every choice that I made, good and bad.
Yeah. No, I stand by that as well.
Yeah.
I know I'm enough. I just think when you're working with multiple personalities a day and you get sidetracked because you're so focused in on their feelings that your feelings are just, set aside. Like when you're sitting in my chair, that's your time. I want you to leave. I want you to feel beautiful. I want you to cry in my chair. I want you to get everything off your chest. And I want you to feel like $1 million when you leave. But with that being said, sometimes it's a lot that it gets put on my soul because I take that home with me. And if I can try to turn things like 97% of my clients I loved, and then there's 3% I wanted to rip my hair out, I got rid of that 3%. You have to. Because I get to pick and choose who my clients are nowadays because I've worked so hard for my clientele. And I'm so unbelievably gracious and humbled that my clients give me business as they have for all these years, or anybody if it's just one time. But if you're really impacting me in a negative way, I can't have that because I take so much home with me, and that will never leave. That's just my personality.
It is. It's your character.
I wish I could shut things off, but I can't. I'm just not built that way. That's what makes everybody different in this world, and that's just one of mine, Or I notice if a client brings a gift in for me, well, then I will give them product. Or I knock money off their bill because I can't accept, I'm like, why'd you get this for me? Here, let me knock $50 off, It's just how I'm wired, I guess.
Well,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Just remember that there's nothing wrong with the way that that we are wired. Lindsay, this has been extremely. Actually, the word enjoyable comes to my mind. We had a tough subject to talk about. Your life is, you could look at it like it's an absolute train wreck, or you could look at it like it is an unbelievable gift.
Yeah.
And that's the way that you've looked at it. That's the way that you've handled it.
Yeah.
And, the word perspective comes into my mind with you. You can take, a tough knock in life, you can turn it around to make it work.
Yeah.
And if there would be anybody that I know of that can make something bad get turned around and turn it into something, just, a community, a goal, some helpful words. You are one of those people that could turn that around. You're an inspiration. You have inspired me greatly. I don't know if you know that or not.
Well, thank you.
And I truly, I don't know. I wish only the best for you. And I just think that there's a lot more yet to come in your life.
I think so too.
Yeah, it's
I
gonna
do.
be.
It's not over yet.
Yeah, yeah. Is there anything? Is that anything that you would like to leave for some viewer that really, really was engulfed in your story today? That you'd like to leave them? Just a nice, simple message.
I always say today is today and tomorrow is a new day. So if today is failing and you feel you're at your lowest and you're not feeling fulfilled, or you feel like a POS, and just tomorrow is a new day. Make tomorrow count. Always believe in yourself, and those that are negative in your life, get them out because it's drowning you. And I don't ever want somebody to feel the way I felt. I let a lot of people dictate my choices, the way I maneuvered, and the second I believed in myself, it was like I was a powerhouse and I was unstoppable. Because if no one's going to believe in you, all you have is yourself at the end of the day. Believe in yourself, and don't let somebody else define your story. Like, you write your own story, and that's it. Like, don't let it be a fairy tale. Might be like we said, a train wreck of a fairy tale, but makes it interesting.
Yeah.
Somebody, reading. Yeah. I don't know. And just surround yourself with good people.
I just love how you embrace everything in life. you know, the negative things that have happened. That is like something I'm definitely going to take away from this conversation is that you embrace
Yeah.
the good, the bad,
Yeah.
and the real ugly that you've been through. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. I love that about you. I wish you the best, and I'm excited just to stay in touch and
I am
just
too.
to see where you go.
Yes, this was very fun. I very much enjoyed your story,
Yeah.
yours as well.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Lindsay, for joining
Thank you.
me on Real Feel Insights.
Thank you.